Trad Tracker, the hypocrisy detector for traditional men. Are you tired of debating men who preach traditional values but can't pass a basic background check on their own household? Introducing Trad Tracker, the world's first handheld hypocrisy detector engineered specifically for men who shout family values louder than they show them. With just one click, Trad Tracker scans for unofficial children, unofficial baby daddies, unofficial emotional stability, podcast-based delusions of grandeur, 3 kids, 3 dads, 0 accountability syndrome, volume level versus actual argument ratio. Trad Tracker will even announce the results out loud in a calm female voice, because we know that's what triggers them most. Warning, user claims to be a traditional man. Biography does not agree. Perfect for podcast guests, debate panels, Thanksgiving dinner, anyone who says as a leader of my household. Unprovoked, order today and receive a free add-on, the alpha male air horn. Blasts a loud honk every time someone tries to talk over a woman because their argument collapsed. But wait, there's more. For a limited time only, get the Trade Tracker Deluxe Edition, featuring a built-in Father of the Year achievement, locked and impossible to unlock, a meltdown predictor algorithm, a microphone auto-mute function when shouting begins, a flashing hypocrisy overload light. Trade Tracker, protecting the public from faux traditional men since 2025.
Accountaments. This episode is sponsored by Accountaments, the breath mints for men who can't handle accountability. Do you know a man who starts yelling the moment you mention facts, timelines, or basic human logic? Does he get emotional when you bring up his own behavior, but calls you emotional for pointing it out? Yeah. Give him an accountament. Each mint is infused with refreshing peppermint and a light dusting of grow up. Perfect for men who raise their voice instead of their standards, men who panic when their own receipts get read back to them, and men who say, I'm a traditional man, while living a very freestyle lifestyle. Accountaments, freshen your breath, not your excuses.
Watch this clip, and then I will give you my thoughts on this red pill, fake Christian, fake traditional man's meltdown.
But Charlie, I just think, honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So, Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you...
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say, dyke?
Your wife with the 3 baby daddies?
I'm sorry, dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred...
Andrew Wilson versus reality, the meltdown that broke the internet. Let me take you back to the moment the internet shifted on its axis. Because when Andrew Wilson collapsed on camera, when he shattered like a bargain bin mirror under fluorescent lighting, you could feel the tremor ripple across the algorithm. It wasn't just a meltdown, oh no, it was a performance piece. A masterclass in what happens when a man builds an entire identity on traditional values, and a single woman armed with nothing but a sentence wrecks his whole architecture. The sentence was simple, bare, surgical, a clean blade sliding straight between the ribs of his fantasy. If you're such a traditional man, why does your wife have 3 kids by 3 different men? Let me pause, let us honor the precision. That line wasn't a question, it was a reckoning. The silence before the storm. You know that split second after someone gets hit with truth so pure it could be bottled and sold as disinfectant? That micro moment where they freeze, eyes wide, brain buffering like a dodgy live stream on 3G. That was Andrew Wilson. Man's soul said BRB. His spirit went to find the uninstall button. His ego called customer service, demanding a refund. His whole traditional man persona, that rehearsed calm, that patronizing smirk, that smug little I'm above emotional reactions voice, all of it evaporated like steam on a cracked kettle. Gone, vaporized, decimated, you could almost hear the Windows XP error sound echoing inside his skull. And then, like a cheap firework someone lit indoors, he exploded. The meltdown begins. Volume over logic. He didn't respond with reasoning. He didn't respond with facts. He didn't respond like a man who actually believes in the ideology he's selling. Nope. He responded like a year 8 boy who just got roasted in the playground and reverted to primal name-calling because vocabulary abandoned him, talking over her, shouting, insults flying like a man trying to cosplay Gordon Ramsay without the cooking skills, raising his voice because it was the only thing he had left to lift. It was wild. There's something almost poetic about watching a man preach femininity versus masculinity, order versus chaos, tradition versus degeneracy, and the minute a woman challenges him with nothing but arithmetic, he combusts. Because numbers don't lie, but insecure men do gymnastics. The insecurity leaked. See, the meltdown wasn't random. It wasn't spontaneous. It wasn't out of context, misunderstood, or whatever PR-friendly excuse grown men invent when they get exposed online. This was the sound of a man desperately trying to outrun his own biography, because he knows deep down that the image he pushes, the traditional household leader, the alpha patriarch, the family values guru, collapses faster than his composure under scrutiny. The truth he ran from finally caught him, tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Explain yourself." And he couldn't. He knew he couldn't, so he chose volume instead of vulnerability, insults instead of introspection, chaos instead of clarity. A man with conviction doesn't do all that. A man with conviction doesn't fold like laundry during monsoon season. A man with conviction doesn't scream over a woman because the truth is louder than his voice. This was the collapse of a man built on cardboard principles. The alpha male costume malfunction. This is the part that still kills me. He actually thought yelling would fix it. Like raising his voice could rewrite the paternity test, like interrupting her could rebrand the household, like volume could go back in time and father those kids. He was shouting like someone unplugged his masculinity, and he was trying to reboot it with anger, because the whole alpha male thing, it's a costume, it's cosplay. It's a uniform men put on when they don't want to confront their flaws. But hers, this queen, she tore that costume right down the middle, and left him standing there in the cold, trembling, exposed ego shivering in the breeze. His voice got louder because his credibility got smaller. The truth he couldn't swallow. Let's keep it a stack. This meltdown wasn't about her tone, her question, her disrespect, or any of the excuses he tried to throw like confetti at a tragic wedding. It was about her accuracy, because if you brand yourself as Traditional Man 2.0, if you market yourself as the leading authority on family values, if you scream online about the destruction of the household, if you judge women for their pasts, their choices, their bodies, their partners, then you cannot be married to a woman with 3 kids by 3 men and pretend your life is a biblical parable. It doesn't add up, it doesn't track, it doesn't tradition, and this is the moment the internet loves the most, when performative morality meets actual life choices and loses. The spiral, ancient and deeply entertaining. By minute 3 of this meltdown, he wasn't debating, he wasn't conversing, he wasn't asserting anything remotely alpha. He was malfunctioning like someone poured orange juice into the motherboard. He tried deflection, insults, talking over her, fake laughter, raising his voice, rewriting his own history, pretending he wasn't bothered, pretending he wasn't defending himself while defending himself. But the damage was done. He looked like a man getting punched by facts he personally ordered on Amazon Prime with next-day delivery. The traditional man who breaks tradition. Here's where it gets tragicomic. He spent years preaching about what women should be, how women should act, how women should behave, what women should bring, who women should become. But the minute someone applies that same standard to him, silence, gone, deleted, turned into a whole Greek tragedy. The meltdown was him realizing, on camera, that he wasn't the protagonist of the story he's been narrating online. He was the twist. Stay tuned for a quick message from our sponsors.
The Calm Her app, a meditation app designed to soothe men after a woman speaks facts to them. Features guided breathing for when a woman mentions statistics, relaxation sounds to soften the impact of the word hypocrisy, special emergency setting. The accountability siren, perfect for meltdown episodes. The Calm Her app, when she's right and you weren't ready.
The plot hole, the unreliable narrator. He wanted to be the patriarch, but the math crowned him the side character. Why it hit so hard. The woman didn't raise her voice, she didn't insult him, she didn't drag him, she didn't talk over him, she didn't even get emotional. She asked a question like she was reading a weather forecast, and that's why he cracked. Because calm truth is more violent to insecure men than shouting ever could be. Simplicity frightens them, accuracy shakes them, facts undo their whole costume. She showed the world that his masculinity has terms and conditions. The grand collapse, man versus mirror. By the end, he wasn't even arguing with her. He was arguing with reality, with himself. With the image he's been trying to sell like essential oils to impressionable men online. His meltdown became a mirror. And he hated the reflection. Because nothing is more terrifying to a man pretending to be traditional than the moment someone hands him his own biography and says, "Read that aloud." He couldn't handle it, he couldn't swallow it, he couldn't respond. So he screamed. The internet never forgets. His mistake wasn't the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is common like cold weather and bad government. No, his mistake was the meltdown, the theatre, the performance, the refusal to stay composed under pressure. Because the internet does not reward weakness dressed as authority. The algorithm does not respect men who scream at women they can't intellectually handle. People do not forget the moment a man showed he is all bark, no backbone, and absolutely no biblical lineage. Andrew Wilson didn't just lose the debate. He lost the brand, he lost the tone, he lost the mystique, he lost the patriarch cosplay badge, and the worst part, he did it to himself. No one forced him, no one tricked him, no one sabotaged him. He walked into the ring with ego and left with a highlight reel. What he taught us. The meltdown teaches us one thing. The men who shout the loudest about tradition are often the men living the least traditional lives. And when you poke the contradiction, when you hold up the mirror, when you ask the question they hope no one will ever say out loud, they break. Loudly, messily, publicly, flamboyantly, like a firework that should have stayed in the box. Andrew Wilson didn't just crack, he erupted. He produced the content of the century. He demonstrated in real time how fragile performative masculinity is. And honestly, I owe that woman flowers. She didn't drag him, she simply turned on the lights.